Now Democrat senators are joining the riots. Alex Padilla, the senator from California, got handcuffed inside of a federal building this afternoon for lunging at a cabinet secretary. Kristi Noem was in Los Angeles giving a press conference about the riots when the senator barged in and ran at her, yelling and screaming.
Exaggerate and embarrassing. Sir, hands up, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your hands off.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked?
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, I put them behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
Democrats must have known about the stunt ahead of time because within minutes, Newsom yelled dictator, and Congress burst out of their offices.
I just saw something that sickened my stomach. The manhandling of a United States senator. We need immediate answers to what the hell went on.
As if made to kneel before the authority of the executive because he was so-called disrespectful. If you could make Alex Padilla forcibly kneel before this executive, when does it stop?
As a combat veteran, I want to know what this House is going to do, but because a senior senator was attacked, illegally attacked and drugged to the ground.
MSNBC's acting like Trump fired on Fort Sumter.
This is a big escalation of what has been happening in California. Born to immigrants, he himself is the pride of much of the Latino community in the Los Angeles area. To see him manhandled in this way, like a common everyday protester, is going to be particularly jarring for many who are watching from California.
The senator wasn't arrested, wasn't charged, didn't go to jail, but was able to arrange a press conference immediately after.
If this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers out in the Los Angeles community and throughout California and throughout the country.
Guys, there's a lot more in this video I want to show you, so stay tuned. But first of all, do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up like button if you're enjoying this video so far. Guys, a lot to talk about right here, but get the conversation going down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Where did they do the appropriate thing here? Were the Republicans right? Were the Democrats right? Let me know down in the comments, guys. We're going to break this all down. We're going to talk about it. And was this an actual stunt? Was it a legitimate statement? All that's coming, guys. Stay tuned.
Was he almost crying? I think he was. Noem says if he wanted to ask her a question, he could have just called.
You know, I had a conversation with the senator after this. We sat down for 10 to 15 minutes and talked about the fact that nobody knew who he was. He didn't say who he was, that until he was already had been lunging forward and people were trying to detain him for quite a period of time. And that this, you know, we're leaders, we're public servants. And if he had requested a meeting, I would have loved to have sat down and had a conversation with him. That coming into a press conference like this is political theater.
The FBI says Padilla never identified himself and wasn't wearing his Senate security pin. And no one recognized him because no one knows who Senator Padilla is. Yeah. He's the least recognized senator in the entire Senate. I'm sorry. So a guy wearing street clothes barges into a press conference just yards away from a cabinet secretary and starts lunging at her and screaming. Secretary Noem's security saw him as a threat, and he pushed the federal officers back. He could have been a stalker, an impersonator, or any yahoo off the street. Trump was just shot. You can't have random people lunging at cabinet secretaries. These are the people who say no one's above the law. They arrested Trump 4 times and charged him with 94 crimes, but they think being pushed out of a room crossed a line? Come on. Anyone else would have been treated the same way. Police were just doing their jobs and removing a protester, and now Democrats want to hold hearings.
Bill, you commit on the record to subpoenaing Kristi Noem because a U.S. senator was just thrown to the ground and detained in his own
Democrats can't follow the rules, can't follow the law, can't follow the rules.
Shut up. Just shut up. No, you don't. No, you're not going to tell me to shut up.
How do you get him in order? You're running for
not like that.
He has been out of order 6 times. He's trying to get on MSNBC. You probably knocked.
I get it.
Somebody off MSNBC to get on there.
That's
I think as he's been arrested as a former Antifa member, right?
Back to order, Ms. Green. Go.
He's a former Antifa member, Mr. Chairman.
You got
no
it.
surprise.
Who's a former Antifa member? Me?
Yeah, you.
Guys, can you believe what is happening right now? I'm telling you, we are so divided right now, and there are so many of these skirmishes that are just popping up all over the place. But one thing that I think you're going to notice is that 90% of the time, it's Democrats right now. Democrats are coming out of the woodwork right now in very inappropriate ways, guys. You can't just push past officers like that, like security. You can't do that. And obviously, it looks like a setup. He didn't have his badge, all that. We're going to break this all down, guys. I know there's a lot to talk about. A lot more I want to show you here, guys. First of all, do me a big favor, guys. Subscribe if you're not a member, guys, of the channel. Join the channel, guys. We're posting videos like this every day, breaking it all down for you. Again, let me know down in the comments, guys. What do you think about all this madness that's going on right now when it comes to the LA riots? All right, let's continue watching this.
Now, we don't know what was in the water in D.C. today, but Bobby Kennedy should test it. Padilla is trying to act tough for his base, raise money, and get handcuffed so we can call Trump Mussolini. They'll spit this clip out, and the media's going to run with it, but it's not going to get any traction. No one takes these people seriously anymore. The man looks like Code Pink, and men should never act like that. Lunging at women, screaming hysterically, close to tears. Get a hold of yourself, Senator. You're a member of the world's greatest deliberative body. You're supposed to move the country through soaring oratory and eloquent speeches. Or you write laws. That's literally your job, to write laws. He's gone loco. Tampon, JB Back Ribs, and Hochul were all on Capitol Hill begging for Homan to arrest him.
If Tom Homan comes to Albany to arrest me, I'll say, go for it.
If Tom Homan were to come to try to arrest us, I can say, first of all, that he can try.
Democrats say Trump has an enemies list, but they're all begging to get on it. Who begs to get on a dictator's hit list? Exactly. They don't really think he's a dictator. They just want to pretend to be human shields for illegals. Tampon says we just don't know history.
I don't call federal law enforcement officers Gestapo. You were recently quoted. Where's the apology?
Donald Trump.
Oh, no, Donald Trump didn't. Listen, Donald Trump's not here.
Yeah.
You are, Governor.
Yeah.
You're a big boy. Put your big boy pants on.
I would ask, don't wear masks. Identify who you are. Don't pull up and under.
Governor, you called them Gestapo. Will you apologize for that?
And don't pull people.
Will you apologize for that?
Congressman, my job, I'm a history teacher.
Okay, so you won't.
Democrats called the LA riots the Mexican-American War, then changed it to the Civil War, and now they're saying it's actually World War II. And LA is just like the beaches of Normandy.
When you compare the old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, and you compare them to those nondescript thugs who grabbed that student, that graduate student, it does look like a Gestapo operation. It does look like the Gestapo. You know,
guys, notice the inflammatory language here. The Democrats are just feasting on it. This has been a long-running theme for years now when it comes to Donald Trump, and that they're trying to paint him as Hitler. They're trying to compare him to Nazi Germany. The rhetoric that the left is using isn't just dangerous. It's absolutely inappropriate at the highest level. And half the country, the whole Democratic Party is getting incited by this rhetoric. I mean, the riots that are happening in LA, it's not their fault. I mean, it is the rioters' fault. They take responsibility for their own actions. But it's originating with the leadership. It's the leadership that's inciting these riots, guys, on the left, on the Democrats' side. The rhetoric is just unbelievable right now.
Oh, my dad served in Second World War. He fought the Nazis in Northern Africa. He fought the Nazis on the Italian peninsula. And I think he's looking down right now and he's happy that I'm fighting today's Nazis.
One Democrat can't decide whether to call ICE Nazis or slave catchers.
If we just roll this clock on the wall back 75 years, we'd be looking at a time in Nazi Germany where people ran around with signs like this new ICE sign that says, report all foreign invaders to ICE, with Uncle Sam there holding up the sign. This could have been a Gestapo member 75 years ago, report all Jews. 100 years before that, it could be a plantation owner that said, report all Negroes and all coloreds and all those who are from Africa, because they are disrupting our country. So let's not get it twisted here.
Do Democrats have anything else to say besides racist Nazi? If I go on Fox, both shows, and call everyone racist Nazis day after day after day, you'd think I'd lost my mind. I'd probably get fired. Homeless guys talk like this.
Yep.
Do Democrats have Tourette's? Nazi, racist, Nazi, racist. They're not even making any sense. They say they only want to deport the criminals, but then they won't hold them in their jails when they get arrested. They release them before ICE can show up. Democrats don't even know who they have in their own states. Hochul just found out she's protecting a rapist.
Do you know who Sakir Khan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car. He took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York.
Albany's the capital. It's where the governor lives and works, and she's never heard of this case.
That's because, guys, and we're going to break all this down in a second, but Democrats don't know what they're talking about right now. This is all programming from the top. And it's because of, the toxicity and the negativity from the Republicans is at a peak point. It's literally rotting their entire party from the inside out, guys. I think because of the way they're acting right now, they've already lost chance to win the next election. Doesn't matter who runs on the Republican ticket, they're going to win. Because we're watching the Democratic Party fall apart right now in real time.
Jazzy Crockett says, who cares about migrant rapists? She only wants to talk about one thing.
They love to cherry pick. They can find, any one person that has been killed. And if they've been killed by an immigrant, then God darn it, every single immigrant is going out and they are killers. And that is the problem. But they don't want to talk about white supremacy.
We don't want to talk about white supremacy? It's all we've been talking about. Remember, working out's white supremacy. Being on time is white supremacy. Merit is white supremacy. The Redskins logo, yep, white supremacy. And not admitting you're a white supremacist means you're a white supremacist. LA Mayor Karen Bass says she's okay with a few migrant killers on the loose because she just needs a babysitter.
We'll feel it in the construction industry. We'll feel it in hospitality. We'll feel it at grocery stores. People will begin to notice. You think about the mothers who have nannies and housekeepers. They will feel it when there's nobody to do childcare and there's nobody to take their kids to school. You will feel it when your gardener goes away and you don't know where he or she is.
Oh my gosh, my garden. Who's going to water it? There are over 300 million people in this country. I don't think I'll ever be able to find anybody who knows how to use a hose. So Democrats are letting their cities burn, their stores get looted, and they're lunging at federal officials just so they can keep their housekeepers, gardeners, and babysitters. They're calling ICE the Gestapo and Trump a king because they want their berries picked.
No Kings protests planned across the country on Saturday as well. What are your thoughts on those?
What do they go? No Kings?
No Kings.
I don't feel like a king. I have to go through hell to get stuff approved. A king would say, I'm not going to get this. A king would have never had the California mandate to even be talking to him. He wouldn't have to call up Mike Johnson and Thune and say, fellas, you got to pull this off. And after years, we get it done. No, we're not a king. We're not a king at all.
A king would have Senator Padilla thrown in a dungeon. But he's not in a dungeon. He sat down with the secretary for a while, and then he held a press conference, and then he went on CNN and MSNBC. If Trump's a king, he's doing a terrible job.
Guys, but okay, let's break this down. But before we dive in, do me a big favor, guys. Smash that like button if you're tired of the double standards, the fake outrage, and the constant chaos from the radical left. All right, let's get serious here. A sitting U.S. senator just got handcuffed for storming a press conference and screaming at Kristi Noem. And the media is treating him like he's Rosa Parks. Guys, are you kidding me? Senator Alex Padilla of California lunged at a cabinet secretary. He didn't walk in calmly. He didn't ask for a meeting. He didn't identify himself. He was in street clothes, no Senate pin, yelling and charging forward like some unhinged activist. Guys, President Trump was literally shot at. And now we're supposed to just laugh off some random man storming a federal event? Guys, Kristi Noem's security responded exactly how they should have. Anyone else would have been tackled. And guys, let's be honest. If this had been a Republican senator charging a Biden cabinet member, CNN would be holding emergency panels on the rise of domestic terrorism. But instead of calling out Padilla's reckless behavior, Democrats ran to the cameras crying, "Dictator!" They actually said he was forced to kneel and are now demanding hearings to investigate Kristi Noem. I mean, what? The senator wasn't arrested. He wasn't charged. No dungeon. He got a free press conference and a conversation with the very woman that he interrupted. And then the media steps in. Gotta love it. MSNBC, CNN, acting like we just witnessed a constitutional crisis. Padilla himself said that this shows how DHS would treat farm workers and cooks. Seriously? He turns the security response into a lecture on illegal immigration. Guys, let's stop pretending that this was bravery. This was political theater. It was a desperate stunt for attention, and the fact that Democrats immediately spun it as a fascist overreach proves one thing. They don't believe in law and order when it's their side that's actually breaking the rules. And the hypocrisy. Can we talk about the hypocrisy? Off the charts. These are the same people who shout, "No one is above the law," every time Trump sneezes. But apparently, lunging at a federal official while screaming like a protester doesn't warrant any consequences. Guys, if you've got a D next to your name, you don't have consequences. Meanwhile, Kristi Noem showed what real leadership looks like. After the chaos, she sat down with Padilla and had a calm conversation. She gave him the dignity that he didn't offer her. Imagine that. Oh, and let's talk about how quickly the left throws around words like Gestapo and slave catchers. Guys, this is disgusting. It's dangerous, and it's offensive to anyone who really, truly knows history. They call ICE Nazi and Trump a dictator just to protest the flow of cheap labor. Because let's be honest, that's what this is really about. One Democrat even said that moms would be upset if they lost their babysitters and gardeners. Really? So now we're destroying our cities, ignoring our borders, and risking public safety for landscaping convenience. They're not even hiding it anymore. And they're still wondering why Americans are waking up, why people are saying enough. Because it's not about justice anymore. It's about control. It's about division. It's about power. And if they have to call you a Nazi to get it, trust me, they will. I want to hear what you think, guys. Put it down in the comments. Should Senator Padilla face consequences for this stunt? Would the media have reacted the same if it were a Republican? Are you sick of the hypocrisy? Guys, let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you want to help support this channel and keep this kind of content coming, consider becoming a member today. Let's keep exposing the lies together.